Good morning, everybody. You are tuned to Computers 2K Now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Amnon, your host for the next couple of hours, along with Spence.
Good morning.
Good morning. Why didn't you? Oh, there you are. And Nick is here.
Not in studio.
No, he's in Wilmington. And Jorvik is here.
Hello.
And joining us this morning is Tom Sinclair.
Good morning, gentlemen.
There he goes. Our number is 919-518-9773, Computers 2K Voice on Skype. And today's show is made possible by vMix software.
Wow.
And Tom Sinclair of Live Streaming Gear.
You can thank me, Tom.
All right. Thank you, Nick.
And by Telestream Wirecast software.
Ooh.
Yep. Yeah, if you're seeing like I was told that there's great picture and this is great and this is great. If you like the new look, that it's much livelier, it's because of Tom Sinclair. And I'm still getting my feet wet. Say again. And oh yeah, Nick was trying to talk me into it for over a year.
It's fun. It's fun.
Nick was pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. So yeah, I'm glad I did it. And I said it before and I'll say it again. Thanks, guys. You know, it's nice. So what's going on? Nothing.
Just another day in paradise.
Oh, it's all right. So, Jorvik, you got up this morning and your computer, after an update, gave you some trouble, huh?
Yes, it refused to see the drives, the DVD and the Blu-ray drive, but it's all fixed now.
Well, I mean, you know, you need to tell people how it was fixed. You tried to reboot, you tried different things.
Oh yeah, tried all the normal tricks, but I ended up with the Windows 10 troubleshooter, which I've never really used before. I've used the old versions of it, but it did a good job. It went through the machine, found 6 things to fix and fixed them, and at the end of it, everything seems to be running very well.
Nice.
Windows troubleshooter.
It's a little unnerving to watch it sort through as it installs this because it sits for a long time.
Spence,
it's doing nothing.
Spence, why don't we have video from you, or is it just me? No, it's everybody.
No, I don't see this video.
I don't know. I got it in my window.
I do not see it.
Yeah, it's just the icon.
Really? Oh, well, I'm going to drop and come back.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to be a bit patient with it, as Spence was saying. It does take a little while, but stick with it. And like I say, what comes out the back end is a good result.
Oh, there he is.
There he is.
The ghost in the machine.
Well, I have a computer problem as well, Amnon.
Oh, what happened to you?
Oh, well, it's a beautiful day yesterday, and the computer that runs our radio station's automation system has crashed 3 times already. It just completely shuts down and reboots. So I've got that to troubleshoot.
I'm
working on.
Well, I mean, I've seen that before, and there are a couple of things. One is the fan on the CPU.
It's not hot. I already looked at the.
The other would be the memory is
Yeah,
not
it could be that, too.
seated good, and the third thing would be the video card that is not seating unless it's on the motherboard, unless it's the local. Then that would be
There's
it.
a piece of software called Who Crashed,
Yeah.
and it goes through and it kind of deciphers the memory dumps that Windows creates when the system shuts down. So I have to get that installed and see if that doesn't lead me in one direction or another. I doubt it's a hardware issue though.
That's interesting. I mean, you
Yes.
didn't change anything, or was it, you did do a, no, you didn't do an update. That's not the
I
machine.
did not do an update.
Yeah.
I haven't been out to this site, and I haven't touched the computer at this site in over 3 weeks, so I don't know what the deal is.
You'll figure it out.
So,
I've got faith
hopefully.
in you. You'll figure it out. You will figure it out.
question is, how long is it off the air before I figure it out?
Hey Tom,
Hey,
when do you
Amnon.
when do you have to leave?
About 9:40.
Okay, all right. So let's start and talk with Tom. So Tom, you are what they call now live streaming gear.
A streaming idiot is what he.
Yeah,
is what they,
you're
is what they
streaming.
call it.
I didn't want to say that. If anybody
Well,
wants to watch, go ahead.
Now.
I think, old guy was already taken, so I'm a streaming idiot. So
There's something going on between Tom Sinclair and this Computers 2K now, because there was Mike and there was Spence and there was me. He always referred to us as the old guys, and
Yeah.
it became kind of like a pet name, so to speak, which is fine. I mean, I'm proud of it, man. You know that.
yeah,
So
you guys are survivors.
So tell
I mean,
us.
If there's a zombie apocalypse, I want to come hanging out with you guys because y'all are ready.
Tell us what streaming gear or what live streaming gear your company is doing.
Yeah. Thank you, Amnon. I appreciate you asking. We are having a ton of fun. Every week we've got a regular show that, we wouldn't have had if we hadn't have discovered Computers 2K Now years ago. We have a regular show called Streaming Idiots, and it's basically for folks that are interested in live streaming, whether they're professionals or whether they're hobbyists or newbies just beginning. We have guests most weeks that come in to talk about what they're doing in live streaming. We last week we talked about everything Mike Phillips taught me about audio. It was a really long show because he taught me an awful lot. Mm-hmm. But it's a fun show. And then about a year ago, one of the show viewers started a Facebook group called Streaming Idiots and invited everybody to join. He invited me to join, and so we joined the group. And since then, he told me later, he said, I was hoping the group might get 50 members. Well, as it turned out, last time I checked, we have over 1,000 members. And these are folks that are posting basically 24/7 on this Facebook group, all the things they know or have questions about with live streaming. It's turned out to be a kind of a de facto live streaming support group. So it's been a lot of fun. But my company, Eastern Shore Broadcasting, has brought to market a line of PCs called Live Streaming Gear. And they're basically, PCs that are built to the vMix specifications to do live streaming with vMix. We shipped one out yesterday to a young couple in California that are going to use it to do a talk show, actually in their living room. As you guys know, you can live stream from anywhere. And it's been a great experience doing all this. We represent lots of great products. We represent Magewell capture cards and PTZ optics, PTZ cameras. We we also represent the Marshall line of cameras, the X Keys controllers, and of course, we are a premier vMix representative. The guys at vMix have been really supportive of our little venture here. And in fact, they invited me out to NAB last spring to represent them. And so I got to go to Las Vegas and hang out with live streamers for 5 days. It was just like, like throw me into that briar patch. It was absolutely wonderful. But it's been a great experience. We've been full-time since January 2016. Before that, it was sort of half-time, but I sold the company that I was working with back then, and now we're doing nothing but live streaming. And it's fun to bump into people all the time that said, "Oh yeah, I know Amnon Nissan. I remember him from the very first show you had on that VidBlaster guy back in July of 2012." And I'm thinking, "Oh my gosh, those were the dark ages of live streaming for me. That was the Neanderthal era of live streaming for me." But it's so much fun to have taken the live streaming idea and kind of knocked the rough edges off and then sanded it a little bit. And now we're kind of into the polishing stages where we might actually know what we're doing. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
All right. So from
Amnon, what year was it we were using Ustream from the studio?
This was before, that was like maybe 2006, 7? I don't remember.
Oh my
Ustream
gosh.
producer.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. On a Toshiba single core laptop.
Oh, it must have been great.
It was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
It looks just as good as the video does now.
Yeah, with a camera, with a
the camera through the glass.
through the glass.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
All right, so Tom, where do you see live streaming going from here? Give us some.
Oh, I see it going everywhere. Oh my gosh. No, now YouTube it started out by allowing people to live stream to YouTube. Facebook picked up on that. So now anybody with a cell phone is live streaming anything. And some of those folks are going to get bitten by the live streaming bug, and they're going to say, "I need to do more than I can do with my phone." And they're going to go out and they're going to find things like Wirecast and VidBlaster and vMix, and they're just going to go bonkers. And every street in America will have somebody that has a studio in their basement or their spare bedroom or in the attic, as it were. And there's going to be more content on the internet airwaves than you can imagine. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. We may have more content producers than we do content watchers.
Well, hey, look, whatever people want, right? Tell me something. Right. There's still something that I can't understand why you did that. You got me started with VidBlaster.
Correct.
Why did you switch? Without slamming. I guess you can't answer it without slamming.
Well, it's like this.
Now let's see his diplomatic side.
Choosing a live streaming software is not like getting married. When you're married for life. But when you choose a live streaming software, you can change if you find something that's sexier and prettier and wittier and is a better conversationalist and laughs at your jokes. And vMix laughed at my jokes. So I switched.
Is the moral of the story not to get married? I don't understand. I'm missing the. I think I missed the point of the story.
That was very diplomatic.
Well, the point of the story, Nick, is that I had a better offer.
Of course.
I had a
Yep.
better offer, and I found software that was significantly better. It wasn't just a little bit better; it was significantly better, so much better that it was worth the pain to switch.
I think that's the key, and that was kind of the hurdle that I dealt with Amnon for the longest time. It's not easy to move, especially in Amnon's case. What do you do, Amnon? 9 shows a week or something like that?
Yeah, it's not
That's
easy.
significant.
Oh yeah,
It's a very significant amount of time to move every single profile and backgrounds, and it's a pain. It's a real pain. And for the longest time, I was trying to convince him that the benefits will vastly outweigh the amount of time it takes to switch over. And now, clearly, that has been the case.
the blessing in doing multiple shows every week is when you switch, you have to rebuild all these profiles. And that is the best homework. It's like standing in front of the blackboard and writing 100 times, I will never do that again. You know, this is kind of why I was able to do it once I decided to, is because of sitting here and building profile after profile after profile, because once you start, you can't stop. And that taught me a lot. I couldn't have done it without the help of Nick and Tom when I hit a wall or something. So, but finally now it's working solely with vMix. So I'm happy about this. And just
Well done. Well done.
Thank you. And for everybody,
Would you say it was worth the effort?
it was very much so worth the effort.
Why?
The main thing that I am now feeling much better about, I mean, clicking here and there is the same thing in both pieces of software. But there was a situation with the old software that in order to play a video or play a video, I had to click a little icon that will stop it from echoing. And many times, clicking on it one time did not do it, and you don't know that it did not do it until you hear the whack, 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 whack. And that was, I was always anxious before I would do that on another show. I mean, here, we can screw up. It's a tech show. But when somebody is paying you to do a certain show and saying, then you can't afford to do this. Here, everything is working right off I don't need to worry about it. Just click on it and it plays the music. I click on the other one and it plays the audio from the camera. So it is fine. It's this is my main the main thing that I like about vMix. There are a lot of other things that are working nice, that are different, and it's like I said yesterday to Mike, who is not here yet, right? No, he's not.
Nope.
It keeps me excited. I mean, there's something to do, something to create, something to discover. We were talking about at our age, why do we need to look for something to distract from everyday life? Well, we do. I think everybody does. And it's great when you have something to look for. I be working, and then I stop, and I come here in the studio, sit down, I said, okay, I want to try to see if I can do such and such. And may spend an hour or two trying to figure it out. And it's nice. It is a distraction, and it's a pleasant one. So yes, thank you, Tom, and thank you, Nick.
Well, I didn't do much.
Well, you did.
I just
You did.
I just suggested that it was time to grow up.
Oh well, yeah, but I mean, you also when I couldn't get a hold of Nick, and I would call you, you would answer and help me get over that hump, which was great. Guys, I would sit here for 3-4 hours trying to do something, and I learned much better by doing it and screwing up and do it again and screwing up and do it again. The good thing is I always keep a backup. So I can always go, okay, let's start from the beginning. And if I see that I'm getting nowhere after a few hours, then I would ask somebody, which is exactly the opposite of what I do with my customers. To my customers, I said, look, if you're trying something and it's not working, don't get frustrated. Call me and I'll tell you how to do it. And it's this was exactly the other way around. No, I want to get frustrated because this way I will never forget it. So it's the last few weeks, absolutely beautiful. I mean, I can always come here and create.
So you would suggest that if somebody were using an alternate software that they might take a hard look at vMix?
Even if the software that they are using now, look, the software that was Wirecast was working. I mean, I was willing to stay with it for another 5 years. I would have no problem without upgrading or anything because it was the tool. I don't go and buy a new hammer every year. I have a hammer. When I need it, it works. It's still 5 pounds, and I can hit stuff with it. It's the same thing here, but it is really nice to see all the new features because with stuff like this, especially with what we're doing, every version of a newer software is going to give you things that the older software did not have a chance to give you yet. And it's nice because you are now, oh boy, yeah, I was always looking for that. And because a lot of us are doing this as a hobby, as fun, it's important to have something that you can continuously, whatever, work with and create something new that the other side is going to see and say, wow, yeah, I like that. I mean, even the way that you introduce the videos and you can have all kind of transitions and the lower thirds going in and out, which I'm still trying to figure out how to do it automatically and all. It is different. It is nice. The audience like it. And I couldn't have done it with Wirecast the way that I was using it. And I would have probably upgraded to Wirecast 8 on this machine if I could. But I couldn't. Ask me why I couldn't.
I'm clueless. Why in the world couldn't you upgrade to Wirecast 8?
I could have Wirecast 6 that I was using and install vMix right next to it on the same computer and use both of them one at a time. You could not do that with the same I couldn't install Wirecast 8 and leave Wirecast 6 in place in order to continue doing the show, the other shows, and configure vMix at the same time. So this was great because, okay, now here is something that you can do. Now, if somebody wanted to go, let's say, to vMix 31 when it comes out, and suddenly everything was changed, as in profiles. The profiles are what's important. You have to rewrite all your profiles.
Right.
There is no way that you're going to be able to install vMix 20 and install the 31 right next to it because they use the same registry, the same everything. So that would never happen. So you can go to another software, install it, and do all the learning. I've got something to look forward to. I am, once I feel comfortable and everything is working with this, I'm going to put Wirecast 8 also, and just in order to get excited over creating something new. I'll have something, it's like having a Ford and a Chevy. Sometimes you drive this, sometimes you drive that, but I don't think that I will run any customer's show that way. I mean, vMix is right now is the best thing that happened. And I will never switch back unless something really bad. Now, there are some things I don't like about vMix, and I think it's more of a user preferences. But I'm sure that they will take, Martin and them, the team will probably, they will see that people are asking for it and they'll do it. It's not a make it or break it. But there are things that for the user, in order to be more productive, they can do. But that's the same thing with and it may just be me, because I'm used to a certain way.
It's the best thing ever. Is it better than fried Twinkies?
Oh, yes. Yeah, Nick went to the fair and had a donut burger. I couldn't believe it.
Yep. No, Krispy Kreme donut.
Yeah,
I remember. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm at this point, Tom. I'm very, very happy with vMix, and I don't see myself switching. It is, and the price is better than the others.
Yeah,
So,
I fussed to them about that. I think they need to charge more for their product, because people sometimes equate quality with price. And so if something costs more, then it must be better. And their philosophy, and I've hammered them about this, and they just are completely resistant. They said, we want to price our product so that it gets in everybody's computer.
and I agree.
We don't want to have we don't want price to be a barrier from somebody using vMix. And you got to applaud that philosophy. I mean, they could charge. I think the vMix HD, which most people use, is $350. They could charge easy $495. Easy $495.
Yeah.
With Wirecast going up to $695, that gives them even more room.
Mm-hmm.
But they've said, look, we are going to forego the extra profit that we would make, because we realize that we can get it out there to more people. And wow, I'm impressed with that. I really am. And, in talking with Martin, and actually the developer of vMix and I share the same last name, Sinclair.
Conspiracy.
Well, absolutely.
Rigged.
I'll claim that. We haven't figured out yet, but we think we're somewhere between 7th and 19th cousins.
Right.
Because there are really not that many Sinclairs in the world, so it should be pretty easy to check. But he claims that you can't be any further back than 7.
You don't have an accent.
Point,
you don't have an accent.
I don't. But, the other thing he admits is that most Australians were criminals that came from Britain and Scotland. So that's probably,
Okay, you fit. So you fit.
So I fit. That's right.
So Tom,
But
you
the other thing-
still stay in touch with the Timex people?
Yeah. They
Timex
send me
Sinclair.
their
I
new
mean, you were
products.
the inventor of Timex Sinclair, right?
And Sinclair Broadcasting Company here in
right.
the U.S.
Yeah.
That's
I
right.
tell you, you need to leverage your heritage.
Tom, I've got a
Well-
question for you. There was a post in your group the other day, and somebody was asking about I don't remember what the post was. It was about cracking vMix.
Yes.
And it spun up some controversy in that group. I haven't looked for a crack of vMix. I'm not sure if there's one out there that exists. But do you think that low price point of what's the one you said, $395 is the version that everybody uses?
$350. Yeah.
$350. Do you think that price point keeps that piracy stuff kind of under the bed, because it's worth $350 to not deal with the crap that comes with pirating the software?
I think that probably helps, Nick, but I think there's some folks that just enjoy the challenge of trying to crack a software. It's not that it's something that's worth money to them. It's just the challenge of being able to do it. But that's just, it's kind of like a hobby.
Interesting. Okay.
And I also think there are a lot of third world country folks that have $0 that are going to try to use whatever they can for absolutely free. I thought it was a little odd that somebody that was professing a church background was willing to pirate software. So, that was a kind of a disconnect for me. But I also think that if you're doing this professionally, either as you're living or as a professional hobby, something that you're going to take some pride in, you want to be legitimate. You want to have the latest updates. You want to be able to speak freely in a community and ask questions. Folks that are using cracked software are kind of they have to stay in the darkness. They can't come out in the light, except for the one idiot that said in the show, he wanted to know how to crack the software. It was funny because he got like 42 responses of people that says, type in delete C:** star, and that'll crack vMix.
Yeah, your comment section really lit him up, aren't they?
They lit him up. Yeah. Yep.
I did not see this one.
That was a good one.
Yeah, I was tempted to take down the post so that nobody would, be offended. But then I thought, the guy's making it's not an idiot. He's making a fool of himself. Mm-hmm. And the rest of the group acknowledged that. And there was nobody on there that was ambivalent. I mean, everybody said, yeah, you got to use the real thing, dude. Come on, get a life. Anyway, it was funny. Funny. Thank you, Nick.
Very much so.
Guys, I hate to do this, but I got to run.
I figured. I was just looking at the clock.
Yeah.
Any last words you want to add here?
Well, yeah, I'm excited because I have a special guest coming on the Streaming Idiot Show Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern, and it's the godfather of live streaming. Amnon Nissan is going to be my very special guest.
Coolio.
So you don't want to miss that. That's Wednesday, 3 p.m. Eastern, streamingidiots.com. And it will change your life. It will change your life.
Amnon, you need to make sure they have all your favorite stuff in the green room before you go on.
I don't get it.
We do have fried Twinkies.
What?
We have fried Twinkies.
All right.
They'll be there. Pre-show.
Well, yeah, you see, with Tom, with Streaming Idiots, there is a pre-show that starts at 2:30 or maybe even earlier. And a lot of stuff going on. Yeah.
Sometimes the best stuff happens in the pre-show and the post-show.
I feel the same way.
Golly, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Nick's podcast, same thing. No, but you start
on
the
post-show. It's been longer than the actual show.
Right.
Yep. Okay, guys. Have a great Sunday. Have a great show.
Later, Tom.
You later.
Tom, thanks for the honor.
You got it, guys. Have a great day.
Take care.
See you.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.
919-518-9773. Computers 2K Voice on Skype.
I've got an interesting story.
Okay.
This is almost unbelievable. So, Google's new Pixel 2 is out. Their newest flagship phone. And if anybody that's ever worked with Android, if you've ever rooted your phone to install, there's a whole bunch of like an image backup software, or you root your phone for various reasons. Depending if you're a power user, typically that voids your warranty, which makes sense. You're installing, you're flashing the firmware, you're doing whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But Google's new Pixel 2, this is from Android forums. This guy was messaging back and forth with Google support, and he pretty much asked, will unlocking it, rooting it, or flashing custom firmware affect the warranty? And the agent responded with, I understand that you'd like to know if rooting or flashing the operating system on a Pixel 2 on a Pixel 2 purchase from Google Store voids the warranty. This does not affect any warranty you may have with us.
Wow.
Android is not against rooting, in quotes, but we can't guarantee the functionality of the device if the source code of the Android OS has been modified. However, in order for us to explore warranty options, we will need for you to return the device to the latest stable version of Android. So,
but what happened if you brick it?
I don't know.
That's very interesting.
I don't know, but what happens is if they have a way, for example, if you root your phone and then unroot it and don't, there's a way before you unroot it that you have to like wipe it so that it doesn't look like it's been rooted before, or like, for example, if you need to send it to Samsung, it'll void your warranty.
Wow.
I did that with older iPads and iPods. You have to go back and basically factory default it. It's already out of warranty, so I didn't care.
Yeah, it's the same thing as doing a jailbreak on iOS, but it's interesting that, and I mean, they make sense. Android is not against what do they say? Android is not against rooting, which of course they're not. It's an operating system made for tinkering around and breaking things. So I thought that was interesting.
Very interesting. I agree. Huh. Go root it. Nick.
Yes.
There's something about your font.
Yeah, can we do that a little bit later? I have to go get my laptop.
Absolutely, we can. So this is a story from last week. Google has stopped its home mini speakers responding when users touch them. It permanently turned off the touch activation feature after it found that sensors primed to stop a finger tap were too sensitive. Early users found that the touch sensors were registering phantom touches that turned them on. This meant the speakers were recording everything around them thousands of times a day. Google said it disabled the feature to give users peace of mind. Google Home mini gadgets were unveiled on October 4th, and the intelligence assistant feature on it could be activated two ways, either by saying, "Okay, Google," or by tapping the surface of the device. So they stopped it. So if you have one and you realize that the tapping doesn't work anymore, this is why. And who is it? Nobody here is using the Hook hub. Do you guys?
No.
The Hook is a hub that talks to RF modules. Like we don't use Google Home. We use Alexa, and you can tell her to turn lights on and off. And the way that it works, these are just standard lights, is you can buy those modules on Amazon, 5 of them for about $30. And they are RF, and the thing comes with, we talked about it before on the show, it comes with remote control and everything. And that's how you talk to those lights to turn them on and off. Yesterday, I realized 2 of the lights were not working, but Kathy could turn them on with the remote. Now, what the hell is going on? And I guess that's when Katie and Donna were here, and I was going, Alexa this and Alexa that, and they say, okay, we're going to go get the food. And by the time we get back, you better be done with Alexa. I said, yeah, I understand. I was driving you crazy. So I was trying, and it wouldn't work. And I was trying to operate it with the app on the phone, and it sometimes works, sometimes doesn't work. And if I got close to the module with the cell phone, it would work. So I picked up the Hook hub, which is just a little bitty box, connected to power, and put it somewhere else in the room. And all of them are working now. So and it's been working where it was for months. I'm going to need to call Hook tomorrow and find out what is going on. It's like something got weaker. The Wi-Fi, because it connects through Wi-Fi, it's like it's weaker. But it was very interesting. I mean, it had happened before when Hook, the service was down. Those of you that use Alexa know that sometimes she stops working. And in the beginning, we used to get frustrated. But then, if Amazon, Jorvik, help me here. What is it? Your Amazon services, voice services?
Voice services.
Yeah.
The voice services, yeah.
If they're down, then Alexa will not work. And you don't know that they're down. So sometimes just leaving things alone for a little bit, everything will come back. But this was an interesting situation here with reorienting the hub in the room. What else? What's happening in the chat? All right.
Quiet week because I didn't touch a lot of technology.
Yeah, it was kind of slow. But there's still things still happen. That another thing from last week that I didn't get around to. It's Netflix raised their prices, Hulu lowered theirs. So it's something to look into.
They're not comparable, really.
Well,
Hulu is trying to cater to the more immediate people who want more current shows, where Netflix has, the last season of a show, for example. But I think Hulu is going to have trouble competing with a lot of the channels that have their own streaming version, the CBS, ABCs, and all that, because they're going to make it really hard to get. They're going to want people to go with their own streaming. By the time you subscribe to all these streams,
yeah,
it's
you pay
as
more.
expensive as.
Yeah.
But I found it interesting when I was in Alaska. I just didn't watch. I didn't have a television. I didn't watch much TV, and I didn't miss it.
Yeah, sure you did.
I didn't. I was so busy. I didn't have time, literally.
All right.
So
Sure.
I didn't miss it.
He says he didn't.
And whatever I did watch, I watched on my phone. I had switched to, unlimited, and I might have watched Netflix or Amazon or something like that. But that was it.
So, Consumer Reports. Oh, somebody was trying to say something? Guess not. Consumer Reports. Earlier in the year, the review group said that problems with reliability meant that it was impossible for it to recommend any Microsoft laptop or tablet. Now, Consumer Reports says that this extends to the Surface Book 2, meaning that the device will not be recommended. Microsoft is likely to be similarly disappointed with Consumer Reports' statement about the Surface Book 2. I don't know who buys stuff according to Consumer Reports anymore. But they're saying about the statement about the Surface Book 2, speaking to Benzinga Consumer Reports, we will evaluate the performance of the Microsoft Surface Book 2 once we get it into our labs next month for testing. So I don't understand how it extends to Surface Book 2 if it's not there. Oh no, I'm sorry. This is Benzinga saying that. Sorry. So they're gonna try it. I've never heard about them. Anybody here heard about
Bazinga?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
And they're
I
gonna
didn't
test
realize it was the
it
name of
and
a
see.
company.
I don't understand it here. It says, speaking to Benzinga, Consumer Reports spokesperson James McQueen said. So what, Benzinga is a Consumer Report? Or is that a Benzinga Consumer Report? I don't know. But apparently they're not going to recommend it. Do you guys go by what Consumer Report says?
Once in the last year, I might have gone there to look at something and didn't find what I was looking for.
No.
So
it's interesting. I don't know how they doing it, and I don't know if today they are actually have sponsors that it's a little skewed. I have no idea. They say no, it's not.
you used to go there and anything you bought, lawnmowers, refrigerators, televisions, all that stuff was relevant.
Right.
And now there's so many choices. It's really tough. Whether they get funding to have all that stuff in-house for actual testing.
It's very interesting.
And then you wonder, I mean, it's still, I think, probably more reliable than Amazon reviews, but.
So Google is not treating consumers, I mean, everyday consumers, as good as they treat businesses. And I understand businesses pay more. Or special people. Because they announced on Tuesday that they would offer stronger online security for high-risk users who may be frequent targets of online attacks. The company says that anyone with a personal Google account can enroll in the new advanced protection, while noting that it will require users to trade off a bit of convenience for extra security. No word about what that convenience mean.
What do they, security against what?
Again, I guess against people that are getting it. Actually, the
This is for one group of people.
it's for one group, but they said that anybody can enroll in it.
No, this
but
is for YouTubers. That's who this is. That's who this is made for.
Oh, okay. I thought politicians.
No, this is absolutely for YouTubers and content creators because their accounts from time to time get compromised. I would imagine maybe the API, maybe most of the API functionality will be turned off. There's going to be some trade-off stuff with it, but it's I would imagine it's for YouTubers.
So
they're always under attack by people.
Is this even? Does it have anything to do with Gmail, or is this for general?
Well, it's going to be for your entire Google account, which will be your your Gmail, your calendar, your. But I believe, in my opinion, this. I mean, I don't know who else uses Gmail that's so high risk that everybody just publicly has their email address outside of YouTube. So
that's what I was wondering.
Good point.
Like what exact exposure are they talking about here?
I mean, it would be. I think YouTube accounts very often get compromised. High level accounts, because they find a way to either reverse engineer or somehow get into that account. So,
okay, well that's what happens when you get snippets.
The article probably doesn't say that, but that's the only group of people I could think that would be so high profile on YouTube, on Google's. I mean, for example, if I wanted to hack into a politician's Gmail address, you'd have to know what the email is.
True.
I mean, they're not using Gmail as their main. They may be, but it's not going to be a regular name. So I would imagine it's only YouTube, but who knows?
So anyway, I mean, if you're on Gmail, see if you can enroll in it. But again, there was no word about what that extra. You have to give up a little inconvenience.
Let's see.
And with all the breaches that have happened, and
Oh, I've got it. Here it
okay,
is. So it's another version of their multi-factor authentication, but the advanced protection program is far more strict because there is no backup option with SMS or stored authentication code. So it's going to be some type of two-factor that does not have a backup option.
so if you don't remember, what do you do if you don't remember your password?
Well, it's not for password. This is for two-factor
Yeah.
authentication.
What happened if you?
Then you're shit out of luck.
Wow.
That's the whole point with this.
Yeah.
But see,
Okay.
that's where the
Okay.
exploits happen when you send it to a cell phone
Yeah.
or find some type of stored authentication code. That's
Right.
when these people end up getting screwed. So this would be maybe a key fob, like a USB key fob that had a code on it, and you'd be able to do something like that.
I think they need to go with the keys that they have in the missile silos, where you got to have two people turn the keys
Yeah, there you go.
at the same time, but they're so far apart that they can't be done by one person. That's the way that it.
They need to turn it. They need to make a key fob. Do it with a key fob.
Spence, do you remember? I mean, this was in the 90s, early 90s. Oh, no, when we met, kind of, you had a card that when you needed to do something to log in, it would,
Oh yeah, I think it was called Secure ID.
and it would change
and it
every
was
time.
It would change every 60 seconds.
Yeah.
And it would put up a new code. So when you logged in, you would have to put in. This was synchronized with a master server at the POP or wherever it was you were calling into. In this case, it was a server farm authentication to get into the network, and you'd have to put in that code. Yeah, what you would do is you wait till it rolled over, because if 60 seconds wasn't enough time for you to log in, it would time out. You'd have to do it again. But yeah, it was just it looked like a credit card, but it was probably an eighth of an inch thick, had a battery built in, and it was synchronized to a master server somewhere else. Yeah, it was a very good, secure way of doing things.
Yeah. I remember I was impressed with that thing. I said, wow, now that's
Kind of
security.
a two-factor. If you had to have a password and that key, it was two-factor. You had to physically have that. If you didn't physically have it, you're out of luck. So, although I think there was a failover way of logging in.
I like the idea of not having the failover. Especially, I mean, you're talking high profile people.
Yeah. Well, when I say failover, it means you had to call the support center and they would give you a temporary code. You'd have to identify yourself.
Well, yeah, but that's
Somehow.
where most of the problems occur, when you talk to a person.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, don't forget when this was, too.
Yeah.
Well, Alan makes a good point about how much of a pain two-factor is. I mean, I feel the same way. That's why I don't use it. I mean, should I use it? Absolutely. But it's just too much of a pain.
Yeah, it all depends what you do. Again, if you're running, highly secured, highly sensitive information, which you probably won't, then yeah, you do it. But I understand what Nick was saying, that it's for YouTubers, and that Google is protecting their own stuff too, because Google is there. I mean, YouTube is theirs. So that's, yeah. Anywhere you use two-factor is a pain in the butt. It's a pain in the butt because we are not used to it, and we're used to just go in, put a password.
Well, I disagree. I think there's some. What happens if you lock your phone in your car?
Yeah.
You have to have like 6 different Apple devices, like I have,
Yeah, I mean,
where they all pop up to say, this device is attempting to join. Do you want to allow it? You say yes, and then it gives you the code to enter.
Yeah.
But you're right. If you didn't have access to that other device, it wouldn't be fun.
now, for example, Alan's bringing up TeamViewer. I have two-factor authentication on TeamViewer because I think of that as a critical application. It's got access to all my computers that I use, so I have two-factor on that. But I mean, I'm not going to put two-factor on my Gmail account. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah. It's again, when you team view, you're doing something a lot highly more sensitive, because it just in many cases using team viewer doesn't just involves you, it involves somebody else's.
Yeah.
So yeah. So anyway, going back to breaches, Pizza Hut told customers by email on Saturday that some of their personal information may have been compromised. Some of those customers are angry. It took almost 2 weeks for the fast food chain to notify them. And according to a customer notice emailed from the pizza chain, those who placed an order on its website or mobile app between the morning of October 1st and midday October 2nd might have had their information exposed. The temporary security intrusion lasted for about 28 hours, the notice said, and it's believed that names, billing, zip codes, delivery address, email addresses, and payment card information, meaning account number, expiration date, and CVV number, were compromised. A call center operator told McClatchy that about 60,000 people across the U.S. were affected. If you ordered something, if you did not get a notice, and if you ordered something during these dates, ask for a new card. And I could, after, I don't know if we talked about it, but after the Equifax screw up, a friend of mine was saying, that's okay, just get another credit card. He said, I write my credit company twice a year and tell them I lost the card, just so they'll give me a new one. So it has new everything. Now, that would be nice if you could do that with Social Security numbers.
Oh, I heard a story a couple years ago about a young man whose one of his parents stole his number and used it for credit.
Yep.
And he could not get a new number. This went on for years. And finally, after he was an adult, he was able to somehow get another number. But they fought him. They would not let him do it for years and years and years. So he had to deal with it. He couldn't get credit. He couldn't, just all the things he couldn't do because his number was compromised by one of his parents.
Yep. A lot of parents do that with their kids' numbers when the kids are born.
Yep.
It's a shame. All right, Spence, you want to do specials?
I can. And I will. Are we ready?
We are ready.
All right. Well, I have big news for all those people who have been waiting for Betamax to have a network interface. So the original Betamax deck is going to have an Ethernet interface now. Are you happy about that, Amnon?
Of course.
Yeah. Let me tell you. I just looked at this ad. It just brought back all these memories about the battle of the disc, the battle of the tapes. Remember that?
Yeah.
VHS versus Betamax. Betamax was a superior product, but just never made the cut.
All right.
Oh well. All right. So Computers 2K Now specials for October 22nd, 2017. And remember this, the Altair computer, Amnon?
I remember the name, but I don't remember that.
Yeah, I don't remember. I never touched one, but I remember it. So, okay. Starting with laptops. And I went high end on some of this stuff this time. You want a nice gaming laptop? i7 from Best Buy. We've got the MSI GS Series Stealth Pro laptop. It's $1449.99, $100 off. You going to go buy one?
Two of them.
Two? Okay.
Good price.
Get
hey.
three.
$100 off.
Want a backup. That's $100 off. You got to spend money to make money, right?
Yeah.
All right. That's at Best Buy. Office Depot Office Max has a Dell 15.6-inch Core i7 for $599. It's $200 off the regular price. Staples has an i7 for $609, $200 off. Also going with a high-end gaming desktop from Best Buy, we've got the iBuyPower. I never heard of that brand before, but Intel Core i7 770K, $1599.99. Save $100. I don't think I will save $100.
Yeah.
A little too expensive. Lenovo Idea Center at Office Depot Office Max, $399. This is an AMD A12. Good machine, $200 off. And we've got one of my favorites. I've installed a couple of. It's a niche product. It's got to fit the specific need you have, but it is the HP all-in-one desktop PC, 22-inch with Intel Pentium quad core. It's $349, $95 off. Depending on the need, it is a very good machine, very simple machine to run. Tablets. Best Buy has a Samsung Galaxy Tab 10.1-inch 16 gig for $229.99, $50 off. Office Depot has a Samsung Galaxy Tab A 7-inch screen for $119 on sale, $30 off. And Staples has an iPad 9.7-inch 32 gig space gray tablet for $299, which is $30 off the regular price. Apple products on sale? Interesting. Networking. We've got at Best Buy, we've got a Linksys MaxStream AC 1900. This is about as high as you can go with the AC standard. $139, $20 off. TP-Link, I wasn't aware that they made a mesh product, but they do have, they call it the AC 1300 Whole Home Wi-Fi System. Deco is the brand. And you can buy them. I mean, a single unit is good, but the point of this is that it builds a mesh. But it does come with 2 Ethernet gigabit ports, so you can build a very reliable system with this. $99, $30 off on the single pack. They do sell them in 3 packs. But again, TP-Link products we like. Staples has Google Wi-Fi AC 1200 dual band whole home setup. This is with a three actual APs of $289, $10 off. Not a big sale. Okay, storage. Best Buy, we've got the SanDisk Ultra Fit 32 gig USB 3.0 flash drive. This is one where you can slide it into the USB slot on your laptop. It sticks out less than 1/8 of an inch. Stealthy. That's $10.99. That's $24 off the regular price. That is a good deal. And it's a USB 3. Office Depot Office Max has a SanDisk 240 gig SSD for $89.99. That's $26 off. If you've been hesitating to maybe upgrade your desktop or laptop, this is a good, inexpensive way to do it. I have this same disk. I'm not sure if it's the exact same model, but I do have a SanDisk 240 on my the machine I'm on now. I use it primarily for my boot drive and some things. I have most of the storage on other disks, but boy, this thing is fast. It starts up within 6 or 7 seconds of turning the computer on. I have the login screen. That's at Office Depot. Staples has a Seagate Backup Plus 2 terabyte portable USB drive for $69.99. That's $10 off. Accessories. We have 2 deals on battery backup units. Best Buy has a CyberPower 450 VA backup unit for $39.99, $5 off. And Office Depot has the APC 650 VA for $64.99. That's $10 off. And we don't talk about this particular keyboard that's available at Staples. Sorry, I didn't put the little icon over the keyboard. But this is the Logitech K480 wireless Bluetooth compact keyboard. What's nice about this is it's got a dial switch. You can switch between 3 different Bluetooth devices while using the same keyboard. And the yellow band that you see here is actually a slot for you to put a tablet into. So if you're a multitasker, you have multiple machines going, you want to switch between keyboards, this is the way to go. And this is a great price, $29.99, 20 off the regular price.
So it
Very
comes.
handy device.
So it comes with three USB. I mean, can you connect?
You can connect to 3 Bluetooth devices
at the same time.
So at the same time, but it's got a switch to switch between each device. So if you've got your tablet sitting in a little slot, you've got a laptop off on the side and a phone, you can just turn the dial and it switches between the different devices.
But they don't give you the extra 2 transceivers to plug to the other devices have to have Bluetooth built in already.
They have to have Bluetooth built in. Yeah, this is not this is just an accessory off of the Bluetooth.
Yeah.
Like you'd have for, Bluetooth off of your phone, for example.
Right.
Some people have external keyboards.
Price,
it's handy. This is especially if you travel. This is a good way. It's small, compact. It's chargeable. It's a nice setup. Okay, monitors. Again, a high-end monitor, Alienware 25-inch FreeSync monitor. I don't know what the value of what the benefit of FreeSync is, but I understand that it's got extremely fast refresh time. So for gaming, paired with a high-end video card, this is the way to go. $429, save $70, a 25-inch monitor. Best Buy. Office Depot has a Dell 22-inch monitor for $999, 50 off. Staples has a Dell 27-inch monitor for $179, that's 70 off. Printers and scanners. Best Buy has the Canon Pixma wireless all-in-one for $59.99. That's the MX492, save 40. Office Depot has the Canon Image Class monochrome laser printer. This is duplex and wireless for $79.99. Competitive over the Brother machine, save $90. And this is, I didn't see Samsung come up on our list of potential color laser printers, but this is a heck of a price. This is the C430W Express Color Laser Printer, $114.99. That's it's half price, $115 off at Staples. Don't have an experience with this one. I have the Dell, but for this price, depending on the type of color printing you do, it's a good deal. Home automation and security. I put this device that's available at Best Buy here. It really isn't home automation, but because I had already used the accessory slot, I thought it was worth mentioning. 3.6 amp USB wall charger outlet, $16.99, save $13. Good deal. These are handy devices to have around. I have installed them in my kitchen counters, bedrooms where you charge, where you don't have to have a bunch of wall warts and things laying around on the floor. Just convenient. Office Depot has a Brother P-Touch label maker. Same thing here. I ran out of space in the utility, and I put it under home automation just because, and security, because you need to label stuff. You get wires everywhere, and you don't know where they go, or you're labeling ports and things like that, or passwords. Do yourself a favor and make a label. For $15, this is more than half off the P-Touch PTH 110 label maker.
And buy the tape somewhere else, like eBay or
look online. You can get a good deal on the tape.
Amazon.
Yeah. There are some. I'm starting to see knockoff tape. Usually, for a long time, you never saw it. Either Brother tightly controlled somehow or whatever. But now you're actually starting to see knockoffs producing tape. And finally, at Staples, we have TP-Link has a line of LED bulbs now. They've got 2 of them. They've got for $29, they have it's not a color bulb, but it does change frequencies. So you can be from warm to cool. You can actually adjust the color temperature, which is unique. I mean, I've usually it's only by color. So that's the cheaper bulb, but they do have the one here that's a tunable color spectrum for $39. That's $5 off the regular price, competing with the Philips bulbs. And finally, product focus. I'd run into this product a few times, and I thought it was worth mentioning. It's an interesting device. It's called Beartooth. And what it does is it allows you, if you're in an area, and this was something that would come up in Alaska because there's a lot of areas where there is no cellular coverage. This allows you to have devices either talk or text with each other. If you have, they talk about iPhones. I don't know if it supports Android. They say iPhone. But what it does is it's a radio transceiver that you connect to your phone using Bluetooth. And it lets you talk up to 5 miles distance in the 900 megahertz ISM band, or text up to 10 miles. So if you're in a remote area, say you're camping, and you want to, normally you'd bring a radio with you, right? Well, you can use this to pair with your phone and have push-to-talk capability and text capability using your phone with this transceiver. You just stick this thing in your pocket, and it will pair with your phone. Interesting device. And $249 a pair. I mean, limited use. The only other thing I could think of that would be interesting is you could use this in a in a secure fashion. Say you wanted to have push to talk between your two phones in a place where there was cellular coverage, but now you want to have a secure way of communicating outside of the normal frequency ranges. It's just an interesting way. It could be used even if there is service, but it's called Beartooth. And so you've got voice, push to talk up to 5 miles, and that's with more than one. It's not just between two devices; it's among multiple devices. Text, one-on-one or groups up to 10 miles away. It does have built-in topographic maps, which I don't understand exactly how that works yet. But it is also a power cell, so it will keep your phone charged. Interesting device. Beartooth.
Very interesting.
And that's it for Computers 2K Now specials for October 22nd, 2017.
All right, Spence.
And there you go.
Thank you.
Do I get a donut now?
Huh? You're good.
Do I get a donut now?
Of course.
Oh, okay. Well, when will it arrive?
You want?
I get a donut? I'd like a fried Krispy Kreme donut. That would be good.
But do you want a burger in it?
No, just a fried donut would be fine.
Donuts. Jorvik.
Yep.
Tell us about the that bulb. I mean, do you have one that goes like from cold to warm, cool to warm, or is it just color?
Philips has 3 types. It's got a simple white bulb that you can dim. It's got an ambient white that changes color. You can have sort of orangey glows, blue glows, and then they've got the full spectrum color bulb. So there's 3 types of bulbs you can get with them.
So, Spence, what was this bulb that you're talking about?
TP-Link. The one I was showing was the full spectrum colors, but they had one available for $29. That was color temperature adjusting. So it was a white light, but that would go from cool to warm. So I think it was 2,400 to 5,000 or 6,000.
Yeah.
So you could change it from warm to daylight to, bluish.
Yeah, I think that's how the Philips do it as well, for that particular bulb.
Okay. Yeah, so it was. I wasn't aware that TP-Link made them. But...
Yeah, does the TP-Link run through a hub, or they've got individual IP addresses?
Yep.
Individual IP addresses, like the sockets.
I would like to see one that.
Yeah.
Would be I can think of people. They say not to use certain color lights. Like I should say, like if you're trying to go to sleep and you're looking at your tablet and watching a movie on it, they have ways of adjusting the color temperature so that it doesn't stimulate melatonin or doesn't make your body not produce melatonin so you can sleep. I'd like to see a bulb, like a reading bulb for your light, because if it's an LED bulb, it's going to have the same issue. It's going to have the problem of producing that frequency of light that's going to stop you from being able to read or to sleep. So if they had a bulb that you could adjust to a color temperature that would enhance your sleeping.
You know what I'd love to see, Spence?
No,
Drugs.
I would.
Sleep.
Well, I'd love to see. I would love to see my iPad 3, which is running iOS 9.3, which is a somewhat recent version of iOS. I would love to see this iPad support Apple's night shift mode.
Yes, yeah.
And Apple is they're the worst people that they don't make that available on a device like this.
They want you to buy something else.
And I'm not going to. They can screw off. I'm not buying anything else. But I hate reading on this thing at night. It's with the light is so harsh. They sell screen protectors though that put that glow over it. So I think
that's what I was wondering. I was going to say, is there any kind of a film?
Yeah, you can get a film for it. But hi, Mike. Good morning.
Hi, Nick. There he is.
Hey, Mike.
Good morning.
Morning.
Hi, Amnon.
Oh, hello.
Hi, Jorvik.
Yeah, I mean, you can probably buy some kind of a case that would have different screens on it, so you can flip it over and say, okay, that's for night, and this is now for day.
I don't understand why it's available in version 9.3 of the OS on my iPhone, but not available on version 9.3 on.
I'm wondering if it's a function of the iPad itself. Also,
no, it's a function of Apple just being stupid and not making it available for older devices.
I know Kathy, when she configures her tablet, when she gets a new tablet, there's an app or something that she downloads or she configures. It's a blue or anti-blue or whatever.
Yeah, that's what it is. There's a couple of. I use a piece of software on my desktop called Flux, F.lux, and it does the same thing.
Okay.
Here, Nick, this is what you need. This will fix your problem.
Oh, perfect. Well, with as I was looking at this last night, as I was trying to read something while going to bed, I think I can root, or I can jailbreak the iPad and install a third-party one, which is what I'll have to do. But I just hate doing that. Why just not make it available?
I find that Night Shift is. I have a Kindle Fire that also has a feature, but it just doesn't work as good as Night Shift is much more comfortable. The other one it's so red that it's just annoying.
Yeah. Night Shift is great.
So what's happening, Mike?
Well, not a whole heck of a lot. I have a question.
You have to call 919-518.
All right, see you.
Have your credit card ready.
So
911? No. What is it? 900?
So what's the question?
I want to get a wireless camera for indoor use.
Oh, you mean IP camera?
Yeah.
Wireless.
Well, as long as it's wireless, yes. I have a lot of contractors coming through here for the next few months, and I haven't had a problem to my knowledge. I'd like to keep it that way. I'd like to know when they're in, when they're out, and where they're going. But I only want one. I only want it for the main lobby.
There's a lot of
drop cam. You get a drop cam. How much are you looking to spend?
About $10.
No, how much are you looking to spend?
I don't know. I don't know what they cost, Nick.
I mean, you can get a cheap one off Amazon, or you could get one that's $60 or $70.
Which one is that, Spence?
This is the Guardzilla. And I don't know that the price has come down enough on it, but it's really easy to set up. It's got motion capture if you want that, but you can.
I do. I want motion. I want it motion. I don't care about 24/7.
Yeah. So this got its built-in SD card, but to do cloud stuff, you have to pay. But if you want to just monitor, if you want to look at it remotely, you can look at it. You can look at it live, remotely, and you can play back the video on the motion capture.
So yeah, I don't want that. I just want a wireless camera that I can log in. It can be on my network, and I can RDP into the network or something like that. I don't care about that. It'd be nice to just be able to hit it through the router.
Oh yeah, I have a D-Link tilt pan camera.
Mm-hmm.
I use it all the time.
And
I have it set up in a place where I can turn it and look at all three of my doors going into the house.
Now,
my kitchen.
how much do you record?
Do I record? I don't record anything.
Okay, so it's just you.
I'm not paying for the cloud service.
Okay,
there are ways to record. You can set up your own recorder. It's possible. You can actually stream it to essentially a DVR. It's something that's not supported. You'd have to go out and do it on your own.
Well, Logitech software, the one you use for the C910, C920, has motion detection on it and recording, as I recall, to use a Logitech webcam. But those aren't wireless. I would have to set up a computer in the hallway.
It would not be worth it. The cameras are so cheap, it wouldn't be worth doing that.
And what size SD card is on this one that you have, Spence?
What kind? 32 gig is what I've got in there.
And if you left it to record continuously, what would it record?
I know you can set different resolutions, so I can't say.
We're talking days, weeks, months?
Probably
hours is more like it.
Days at low res. I mean, look on Amazon. You've got for $39, you can get pan tilt cameras, a 720p.
Yeah, but I want there's a lot of junk out there too. I'd like something that someone has used and knows it to be a good camera.
I mean, you don't need anything more than 24 hours or even 12 hours. You know, while you're away, because
I know.
And you don't.
I don't even care to record in on. I just want to be able to access it over my LAN.
Yeah, but I mean, no, Mike. But you have to think about this. That's easier said. You know, think about it. You're going to work. Somebody came in. You're not there to watch it all the time. You come in the evening.
Get that. But if you got motion detecting and all that,
right?
There are applications, from what I've been able to learn. There are applications for almost any Wi-Fi camera for motion detection and recording on a PC on the LAN.
Okay, but I mean, if this by itself, with a 32 gig, will record for 10 hours continuous, let's say, then obviously
it will record continuously.
No, you set once you detect the motion, you say I want it to record for 5 minutes, 10 minutes until it times out. It's not going to stay on all the time.
Yeah, exactly. So in that case, it's really nice because you can have it, and you don't need to hook it to a computer or anything, and you can come anytime, or even with your phone, probably go in it and say, okay, go back 2 hours. Let me see what happened.
D-Link, which I mean, D-Link is a brand. I've had good service with all the D-Link.
Yeah, D-Link is good.
But they've got a Wi-Fi indoor HD motion sensor camera, day-night, with a micro SD slot, 720 recording, motion detection, IP cam built-in, works with almost any third-party app. So I mean, it's
Marshall has a few of the D-Links, Mike, and he loves it.
Okay, well, link it up. I'd like to look. I want to learn about them before I make a decision. Going on to Amazon or anywhere and trying to research it, there are so many of them out there. There has to be a lot of junk.
How about anybody in the chat uses wireless IP cameras?
Spence, put that link to that D-Link.
Yeah, I'm trying to do it now.
Okay.
Just got too many windows open here.
The D-Link's a cloud one, though, isn't it, Spence?
I couldn't understand. What did he say?
Yeah, they are. Cloud.
What did he say?
Cloud cameras.
Okay.
but it's all of them are.
No, some have a inbuilt server. You go straight to them.
Oh, you mean they don't even have a card in there?
Well, they can have a card as well, but a lot of the cheaper ones use cloud, which you sort of go to a third party. You know, all your video goes through them. Some have an inbuilt server. You go straight to the camera.
Yeah, I mean it works, and you know, Mike. I mean, you may even want to think. Well, Mike is probably reading. Well, Mike is.
I can do two things at one time, man. No.
Yeah, you may want to think about using an actual security.
Well, I think I will eventually. I just wanted this one that Spencer linked up to is only $24, which would give me opportunity to play with it and help me decide what I really want.
Exactly. And
so
you do it. I mean, it's worth the investment just to find out how, if this is what you had in mind, or say, okay, I can do this and this and that. So yeah.
And I may not want to do it long term. I mean, I'm not scared of my shadow because I've got ways to handle these things. But
remember, you have to plug them to power.
No kidding.
Yeah, they're not.
It's not solar powered.
They're not 100%
wireless power.
Well, some of them have batteries, but it's ridiculous.
Well, I think I told this before years ago. When I was in high school, I had an English teacher. Back in those days, they wanted to play some sort of little program or lesson or something, and they're on vinyl records in those days. This was pre-cassette tapes even.
Wow.
Yep. And she grabs the record player and turns it on, and it won't play. It won't play. And she looks over me. She knows I'm technical, and she says, "What seems to be the problem here?" And I looked down and I said, "Ms. Green, you need to plug it in." "Oh, well, it says it's transistorized."
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. And she was entrusted with teaching students.
There you go.
A lot of people don't realize that they buy those quote unquote wireless cameras and they put them outside and say, "Oh, but it needs power."
This TP-Link has an Ethernet jack, which is really cool.
Isn't that amazing?
Very, very cool. I might just get one just for the hell of it.
I'll go ahead.
Cool. It's a cool. Mike, buy two.
No.
Is it just pan and tilt, or is it pan, tilt, and zoom?
No, it's not.
No, this is not a pan and tilt. This is just a fixed lens,
which is fine.
So
I only need it.
Yeah, it's a wide lens. Probably
it'll get anybody coming through that door. I'll get. That's all I really need.
Oh.
You can set up a shotgun with a string.
There looks like there's
anybody coming through the door.
They will work.
Have that.
They will work off of the motion detection.
Well, I'm looking at the back of this. There's a couple relays on the back of this.
So it probably can be used for
a motion capture relay to turn a servo to pump a shotgun and blast the door.
Yeah, I don't know the details on this, so I can't really say what it'll do.
That's pretty funny.
But I've had good, unlike Netgear, I've had really good luck with D-Link stuff too. It's typically a low end product, but then so is Netgear with a high price tag.
That's right.
They work.
Sorry.
It's all right.
And it does timestamp overlays too. That's cool.
Right. That's important.
Yeah.
No, I looked. There's another D-Link camera here. It says with remote viewing. Oh, how would the other one not have remote viewing if it's Wi-Fi?
That's the stuff that aggravates me. I don't want to order the wrong one.
Yeah,
well, for example,
I think it does, but
it says this is a fully functional standard IP camera with rich features that work. Single application, Mac, Windows, PC, Android, iPhone, Samsung Smart Things are tested included, but not limited to the apps listed below. IP Cam Viewer, D-Link Viewer, Blue Iris, Safari, D-Link Plus. So yeah, this works, but it might be locally, so you may have to VPN into the network to view it.
Which is fine. I mean, if I get a nice one, I would want to be able to access it on my phone.
Which anyone will.
Did you say Blue Iris?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can actually use it in a security system and record on a PC, and then You've got
Is that what Blue Iris is?
Yeah, Blue Iris.
Oh, okay. Mike, that might be the thing to do. That you may want to hook it to a spare computer and run, like Amnon said, some type of security software, and then that security software will let you use a smartphone app to view it if you want to do that.
I found a D-Link camera video recorder with my D-Link enabled, $49. I don't know if it has a disc in it though.
What's my D-Link? The online crap?
Yeah. But it's enabled. It's for local recording of your camera. So it's, if your camera supports, which I don't know, this is an NVR that can be used.
We'll link it up.
Yeah, I'm going to put it up there.
Well, I will, Mike, but I wouldn't spend the money on a. Yeah.
Nick is going to go through and figure out which one I need, and then that's the one we're going to buy.
No, my point is you are looking at something that's highly specialized to just work with that, and if you can just buy a regular DVR and put it in the house and plug this one into it, and later on use the same one for more cameras as you want to go to security, that's a better investment, and it's probably cheaper too.
It may be long term.
Any of these Wi-Fi's will connect to, it looks like a whole bunch of security systems. So,
well, the one thing that it said about the $29 one is that it doesn't connect to that whatever it is.
No, it doesn't. It does not work with my D-Link, but you can connect it to a handful of security softwares or smartphone apps by the look of it.
The other thing that keep in mind too is all of these IP-based cameras have their own built-in web interfaces, which are extremely sophisticated.
Yeah,
you just don't realize what these things will do. And I can go to my camera and I can go, oh gosh, it's the options that are there are just it's amazing.
Huh?
Oh, this last one you linked up is just the recorder.
It's just a recorder. That's all it is. But you have to put a hard drive in it too.
And
but it will record. I've never seen one this cheap, to be honest. So, but it does not have a drive.
Very interesting.
So, Nick, do we still want the $24 one?
I mean, yeah, try it. If it doesn't work, you could find something to do with it.
I'll buy it from you if you don't want it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can. Amnon will sell it to you for $50.
If you can plug it into security software, then absolutely. Then that means it'll work with any. I guess they just mentioned a few of them that most people are using. But that's
SiteHound, Union Camera Manager, Periscope Pro. You can stream to Periscope with it.
Oh my God!
So you can just stream your house on the internet all the time.
It works in submarines.
There you go.
Incredible.
view Cam.
Anyway,
stuff. All right, I've got my problem. I want to sort of wrap back around to.
All right, it's into the show.
Go, Nick.
So I had an issue. This started about 2 weeks ago, where some of the fonts on my Chrome browser were all italic or italicized. So like websites like Reddit and Twitter, sites that didn't force a style, that would just use the system default style, where everything was italicized, and I couldn't figure out what was going on with that. I read a whole bunch of forum posts online about clearing this stuff and resetting the default font. And as I was sitting here this morning, I found another post, and it was the solution to the problem. I guess I've uninstalled a piece of software recently that went through and uninstalled the Arial regular font.
You're kidding.
So I went in, this guy said, check your font manager. I went into there and Arial was not listed. There was Arial bold and italics and narrow and all those other ones, but there was not just an Arial, regular Arial. So I went online and installed Arial and restarted my computer, and now all my fonts are fixed.
Do you remember which software it was that you did?
I must have installed. That's what they said. Some piece of software uninstalls the font. I don't remember uninstalling.
Must have been iTunes.
But maybe something. I had to have uninstalled something to get rid of that font.
Must something written by Apple.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, iTunes is now 1/4 gigabyte.
Is it really?
Yes.
I don't think I have it installed. I don't. You have to get your own hard drive just for iTunes.
So that's if you see that something like this happened, then go look and see if the font is there. Good.
I still have a Chrome problem as well.
Yes.
When I first start the computer, it takes me 10 seconds to get to the first website on Chrome.
That's
Only
really
does it on one computer. Same problem I had before. And if I go start it in the what is that hidden mode?
incognito.
Incognito mode. It doesn't do it. If I disable all of the extensions, it still does it. And I'm not the only person who ever have the problem,
well,
but nobody has come up with a solution.
You come up with a blank tab, right? You don't have
What do you mean?
You don't have a home page, like a site.
No,
somewhere.
I use a service called, I don't know what it's called.
But
that home screen with the
the temperature on it. Currently 2.0. But that's, again, with all that disabled, then it would come up with a blank tab and it would still do that.
Okay. It will do that if you go to another website. I mean, what I'm trying to say is, can we eliminate that particular website that you're going to automatically? Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It does not matter which website it is, and that's with no extensions at all installed. The only thing I can figure is there's some corruption in the profile. There's supposed to be a way to create a new profile in Chrome, a new user just for that. But I haven't spent a lot of time on it. I've just gotten sort of used to it, actually.
Well,
but that's Google for you.
Here's another story here that's interesting. Over the past 2 years, after decades of declining deaths on the road, U.S. traffic fatalities surged by 14.44%.
How much?
14.4%.
Oh, okay.
In 2016 alone, more than 100 people died every day in or near vehicles in America.
In or near a vehicle?
Yeah. Well, I
That
guess
seems like
they
an
got
ominous.
hit by one or they were sitting in one.
Well, what if they were shot by their
Yeah.
boyfriend while they were
Yeah,
standing
that's
next
true,
to the
too.
car? Is that a vehicle accident?
The
What if you commit suicide because of the president or something? I mean, is that if you're triggered and you're near a car? Never mind, go ahead.
The first time the country has passed that grim toll in a decade. Regulators, meanwhile, still have no good idea why crash-related deaths are spiking. People
Thanks,
are driving. Now, here's what they come. They say people are driving longer distances, but not tremendously so. Collectively, we seem to be speeding and drinking a little more, but not much more than usual. Together, experts say these upticks don't explain the surge in road deaths. There are, however, three big clues.
Got it.
And they don't rest along the highway. One, as you may have guessed, is the substantial increase in smartphone use by U.S. drivers as they drive. From 2014 to 2016, the share of Americans who owned an iPhone, Android phone, or something comparable rose from 75% to 81%. The second is the changing way in which Americans use their phones while they drive. These days, we're pretty much done talking. Texting, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram are the order of the day. All activities that requires far more attention than simply holding a gadget to your ear or responding to a disembodied voice. By 2015, almost 70% of Americans were using their phones to share photos and follow news events via social media. In just 2 additional years, that figure was jumped to 80%. from 10% over 2 years. So yes, today, I mean, they used to tell us, don't drive, don't talk and drive. And there are still probably some states that it's illegal to do in, right?
Yep, but that's fake news.
Well,
You can't talk and drive in New York.
see, not even with
Hands-free.
hands-free, right?
No, you can talk with hands. You can't hold
Okay.
the phone up to your.
Yeah.
But see, that's
So-
all fake news, Amnon. See, this is where the statistics do not bear out the truth. Because what's happened is the reason there are more accidents is there are more cars on the road
That's true,
because
too.
employment is way up. More people have jobs. And so many of these lefties have been triggered by Trump that they're drinking while they're driving. So the combination of the two has caused this dramatic increase in traffic accidents. These snowflakes are drinking and driving, and they're texting with their mommies on their phones while they're driving.
But it's true. I mean, it's you gotta agree. It's a lot more people are texting using the keyboard. Now,
Yes.
the other day when Nick was coming over and he was on his way, and I asked him where he was, and he said on the way, and I said, "Oh, never mind. So just keep driving. Don't text." He said, "No, I'm not texting. I'm talking."
Yeah.
And that's nice. I never thought about that. And I know that
hate Siri because I think it's useless. But when driving, Siri's fantastic. If I'm
Well,
mundane
Android
tasks-
does it. It's not just Siri. Android does the same thing.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. But
Yeah,
in
they
terms
all
of like
have it.
asking it what the weather is and all that, I think all that stuff's a gimmick and useless. But the texting, the being able to do the voice to, I don't know what they call it, voice to text or whatever is
Sure.
great.
Yeah.
I'll be driving and I'll, press the button on my
Right.
Bluetooth device and text Mike Phillips. What do you want to say to Mike Phillips? I'm 10 minutes out. Send.
Yep. So
Makes sense.
the strange thing though is that this is all, again, there's a whole lot of fake news because there's no like the law up in New York that you cannot hold the phone to your ear, but you can talk hands free.
Yeah.
There's no research to prove that that's any safer. The distraction is the mental distraction, not the physical distraction.
Yeah.
But once again, that's where lawmakers who think they know what they're talking about don't. And they come up with laws that make no sense because it makes them feel good, and they can go to the Mothers Against Drunk Drivers and say, "Look what we've done, and send us money."
Yeah.
Well, no, that's the thing is it does if they're just make the phones just you can't talk on the phone.
Well, how do you do that? I mean,
No, but that's my point. Is like if you're gonna if you can't hold it up to your ear, then you shouldn't be able to talk on it at all. That just
I
seems to
agree.
defeat the entire premise.
But see, you're going way over their heads when you start talking that way. They don't understand technology of how cell phones work.
Yeah, and Dr. John is saying lawmakers rely on emotions instead of science.
That's true.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. It's terrible.
Now, here's something else for those that have kids, a lot of us. Kids' smartwatches are usually intended to help parents feel at ease that their children are safe when they're not around. But as it turns out, a number of these devices may do more harm than good. A 49-page report on smartwatches for children details all the ways in which they are a security nightmare. The report, conducted by the Norwegian Consumer Council and European security firm Mnemonic, analyzed 4 kids' smartwatches: Gator 2, Tinitel, Vix, Fjord, and Explora. According to the report, 2 of the aforementioned devices were vulnerable to hackers, affording them the ability to remotely... What?
Russian hackers?
Well, maybe.
What were the? Can you tell me those names again? I want to look those up. I've never heard of any of those.
Gator 2.
Yep.
Tinitel, Tinitell, Tinitel.
Tiny tail.
Tinitel. The other one is Vix, It's VIKSFJORD and XPLORA. So
Explorer.
So
these are meant for little kids, is what it appears.
Yeah, they're for little kids. So they can control the apps on the device, the hackers. Through a breach device, they said that a hacker could access information on the child's whereabouts in real time, uncover their personal information. I don't know what 7-year-old personal information would be on it unless the parent put it on it in order to track them. Yeah. And even communicate with the child. What's more, one of the devices could allow someone with some technical knowledge to discreetly listen to the child's surroundings. So if the child is with the parents and they're talking, and listen to it. Beyond these gross invasions of privacy, the council said certain key features of these devices, an SOS button and a feature that alerts parents when kids leave virtual boundaries were unreliable. The report also notes that issues regarding collecting user data and only one of the product's terms and services allowed parents to opt in to or out of data collection. And OneWatch, the Explorer app, gave up children's data to marketers. So, you know, you may feel like you're doing yourself a favor by putting a device on the kid that you can follow, that you can track. But if it's got listening and talking back, I mean, yeah, it can always be used abused is a better word. So, Nick, are we on the speaker or you're? I guess not. But this is bad. I mean, don't just take a device and stick on your kid without doing the homework, your homework. Listen to these things, read reports online, be informed before you do that. We have a little bit more time. 919-518-9773. Computers 2K Voice on Skype. Call in if you want to.
I wonder where Spencer got that picture of the Nissan Communications home office behind him.
What is?
That's the communications uplink to the satellite.
That thing tilts back and you take the stairs down.
That's it.
That's actually a very well-built outhouse.
It is. It's a log outhouse.
Now, Verizon announced on Thursday that its Fios video service lost 18,000 net pay TV subscribers in the third quarter. That means they gained some, but they lost some, but 18,000.
The net loss was 18,000.
Compared with the addition of 36,000 subscribers in the year ago period and 15,000 subscribers drop in the second. Hollywood Reporter reports now that's fake news for sure. The company said the drop in the latest quarter was reflecting the ongoing shift from traditional linear video to over-the-top offering. Verizon, led by Chairman and CEO Lowell McAdams, ended the third quarter with a total of 4.6 million subscribers to its Fios video service. Losing 18,000 is a bunch.
Well, I don't know. Keep your eyes open for a story of AT&T dumping Uverse video. The story's out there. I've seen it. I'm just curious what their plans are. Something's going on because they're still arguing with WRAL and Fox 50 over shakedown for carrying their local programming, which we haven't missed it. I've been pretty happy about it, but I haven't gotten my $20 a month discount yet either. So I'm going to have to spend half a day on the phone to get that $20.
So they will be dropping, they're talking about dropping, or there are rumors that they will drop UVerse TV, but they'll keep DirecTV.
Right, but DirecTV, from what I understand, unless something's changed, which I'm curious about, DirecTV is satellite only.
Yeah.
Well, I've got too many trees. I can't get satellite here.
Oh,
my HOA will let me put it in the front yard.
They'll figure out where to put the dish so you will receive it.
I don't know about that.
I mean, over here across the street from me, there are big trees, and they actually went to the street and put the dish up on a post.
Yeah, they can't do that here.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But it was interesting because I was at a block party, progressive dinner last night with a bunch of our neighbors. Some good folk in there, some snowflakes. And one lady was talking about her DirecTV. They had it. And what's strange is DirecTV has these 2 local stations on it, which DirecTV is owned by AT&T, but yet AT&T UVerse does not have those 2 stations on it. It was strange because no one there realized that Channel 5 wasn't even on the AT&T. Apparently, nobody watches it.
Yeah. Why should you watch it?
Well, they feed snowflakes, fake news. If you want to consume fake news, there's a great place to go, and it's local fake news.
Yeah, it is.
And in HD. I mean, Nick is a big fan of RL.
No, it's fake news that is looking to be fake news that's customized for the local audience.
Exactly. And what's interesting, I had this discussion with a guy on Facebook, but go to Wikipedia and read their entry on fake news. When you do, scroll down to the United States section at the very bottom and read how biased that Wikipedia article is.
Mike, are you reading the chat?
Off and on,
Dr. John says DirecTV now has a service to access programming on internet.
DirecTV Go. Or DirecTV Now, I'm sorry. But then you have to have a Roku on every TV.
Right. Well, I do, but that's not the way I would want to operate. I mean, the idea of the DVR box and all that, I like that. I like that setup. That's kind of the standard now. But I'm wondering if what I'm thinking, and I don't know if this is true, but what I'm thinking is that at the point that AT&T decides to get out of the TV business with UVerse and they want to move everyone over to DirecTV, they would probably move those customers to an internet-based DirecTV, which may not.
Well, for the longest time, if you get AT&T DSL, they bundle DirecTV with that.
Right.
But you still had to have a dish.
Correct. And you will still have to have a dish, I would imagine.
Well, my issue, though, is that I, like many people, have no room for a dish. I have way too many trees.
Okay, why not just get Time Warner for TV again?
Have you checked the price of Time Warner lately?
Yeah, it's gone up.
I don't have their TV service. I don't know what it costs. Is it more than UVerse?
Oh, my gosh. $50 more a month.
Wow.
How they say their commercial? DirecTV bad, Spectrum good.
Yeah, speculum.
Yeah. Anyway,
Dr. John says there's a company called Spirit burying fiber outside his neighborhood. Google says it's not theirs.
Spirit?
Yeah.
Spirit.
Spirit.
Hopefully it's not our Spirit.
Yeah. Well, anyway, there was some discussion last night about Google Fiber. Oh, I'll be glad when Google Fiber gets here. I said, look, you're about the same age I am. You'll never see it. I said, Google is horrible about starting things, getting people all jacked up, and then say, okay, never mind. They're absolutely horrible. They couldn't care. They are have zero interest in customer service. All they're concerned about is themselves.
Money. But
Well,
there was something.
That's what businesses are there for. The thing, though, is that
there were quite a few stories about them hooking up new neighborhoods in our area, though.
they are, and they have. The question is, how much more quite expensive fiber are they going to dig and bury is the question. That's the real question. They've got, if you go to the town of Cary and look at easements, they already have an easement to bury fiber going down my street. In fact, they go through my yard. I've seen the easement, but that doesn't mean they're going to do anything with it. It's been there for over 2 years.
Oh.
Maybe they will. You know what? I'd love to have it. I detest Google as a company, but I detest AT&T as a company. I mean, to me, it's picking between venereal diseases. But at least if you got to have one, having a choice is probably not a bad thing.
All right.
I had one other thing I was going to talk about. Sorry, I was late.
Is this something that you want to be on the recording? Or is it
I don't
just
care.
No, because what I was going to say, I mean, I want to end the show, end the recording, and then we can stay streaming.
No, just this would probably be appropriate for recording. Since you started late, you don't have 2 hours yet anyway.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that I've mentioned before that I'm seriously looking into getting back into flying a private plane. I may or may not do it. I'm not sure. My medical's coming up. Assuming I pass the medical and all that, then that'll be good.
What do you want to fly?
Airplane.
No, what kind?
Wings, engine. No, 172.
Yep.
That's what I'm checked. I'm checked out on a 152 and a 172. But
yeah, that's the only thing I'm checked out on. But
yeah. So, but I went out in connection with that. I bought a Bearcat aircraft scanner, which is one of the most convoluted things to program I have ever seen. I spent 3 or 4 days screwing around with it, and I finally found a website forum to post on about people who know how to operate it. And as luck would have it, as soon as I posted my question, I figured out what the problem was. It seems to happen that way all the time. And after that, now it works really great. But what I did yesterday is that the problem with aviation for the private pilot in Raleigh-Durham is that Raleigh-Durham is a very busy and expensive airport. It's hard to do anything as a private pilot out there. And truth be told, you really don't want to be flying in behind a 737 and a 152. I mean, it's just.
I did it. I landed at Raleigh-Durham and had clearance to taxi to the general aviation ramp, and a guy was coming up in a 737 U.S. Air, and he says over the radio, like he says, "I would have won." I said, "Well, I had clearance." Yep.
What was the old thing? You can be right, dead right.
That's right. Yep.
And so no, if you watch aviation disasters on the Smithsonian Channel, you realize how bad they didn't realize for years how bad this what are they, the turbulence, but there's another name for it. All of these vortices that are generated by the tips of the jets. It was just unbelievable. Anyway, so I drove down, I got the scanner, I hooked it up in the car, got a remote antenna, and drove down yesterday. I went down to the Sanford Airport. It's called the Raleigh Executive Airport down in Sanford. It's about 30 minutes from your house, Amnon, 25 minutes maybe, and found the local CTAF frequency. So I'm sitting in my car watching these planes go around, listening to the radio. It was really neat. It was a fun thing to do.
It's a nice little airport too. That was supposed to replace. Oh, they closed Horace Williams in Chapel Hill, and they wanted to basically get people to not use Raleigh-Durham for general aviation. So they built that airport. That's the one on US 1, right?
Yeah, just off US 1.
Yeah, that's great. It's a great place.
It's a lot of fun. Good people, nice people. I mean, yeah. We complain about some of the jerks we run into in life, but I generally find that pilots are some of the most helpful people. When I started floating the idea about getting back into it, I mean, if you talk to people in the radio business, Nick, they'll say, "Oh, you need to run the other way. Boy, all the consolidation is bad. You'll never make any money if you like to work for." I mean, they'll just chase you away from the business. But the pilots, you need to do it. Don't worry about it. It's worth it. Get it. Get back. You get current again. Let them know how I can help. So I went down there yesterday, and they actually had a volunteer in the lobby with the they had the volunteer in the lobby with the flying club, and her function was to talk to people who come in with questions. And we talked for about an hour. We went out and showed airplanes, things like that. It was great. So anyway, that's all I was going to say. Is
He's
that
doing it.
The technical thing is that getting this scanner and getting the antenna and all that. I'm actually thinking about, there's a service called liveatc.net where people close to the airport put up a scanner and do a 24/7 feed to the internet. And based on some testing that I've done, I may be able to pick up the Raleigh-Durham tower better than the current person who's picking it up for them. I'm going to get an external antenna mounted in the attic and see if I can get a really good feed on it. And if I can, I may do that, because it's kind of neat to sit here and watch the plane fly over your house and then listen to them talk to approach, departure, tower, so forth.
Not enough homework.
I'm already out of school then. Again. All right, that's all I had.
All right. Anything else, anybody? Going once? Going twice? All right. Thanks, Mike, Spence, Jorvik, Nick, Tom. Good morning, Kathy and Hannah. Nabil, Mac, Norm, Katie and Donna. Thanks, everybody, for tuning to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember to practice safe computing, back up your hard drive, and update your virus scanner. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9, but you can always reach us at computers2know.com. And while you're at it, like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Tonight at 7, Nick hosts Against the Norm on Wilmington's Big Talker 106.7. You can listen on TuneIn. And Tuesday night, Nick has his Infection podcast at infectionpodcast.com at 7 o'clock. See you, everybody.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by Telestream's Wirecast software, StreamingGear.com, Carolina Apparel, and DeltaForce.net.